Hi there. What we're going to make now is a king's cake. It's a super simple thing to make. You make it with frangipani, which is almond flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and some flavorings, and then puff pastry, and you can just use store-bought puff pastry. And this is enough to make probably an 8 to 9 inch pie, but I'm going to be using 2 different sets of my square puff pastry that I've gotten at Cash and Carry. Anyway, so we'll get started here. We have a cup of almond flour, half a cup of sugar, and this is raw sugar from Costco, 2 tablespoons of flour, regular all-purpose flour, and we're going to toss this around a bit, and then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of butter, and the butter has been cubed up into small dice, and it's at room temperature, so it'll mix in well. And once this is worked in, I'm going to add 2 eggs and a mixture of vanilla. It's a half a teaspoon of vanilla and half a teaspoon of almond extract. The frangipani is a really nice base for a lot of different kinds of tarts. One of my favorite ones is a pear tart with a frangipani and cream cheese filling to it with fresh pears on top, and then drizzles of melted chocolate that has kirsch in it. That is like super duper good. Okay, now I'm going to add the eggs. And the flavoring. It smells delicious. Almond is one of my favorite flavors. And there you go, there's the frangipani part. And this is my puff pastry. We buy this at Cash and Carry or Chef Store. It's a restaurant supply. And we break it up into packages of 6 and then vacuum pack it, and it'll keep really well in the freezer that way. That makes life really simple. I think probably the best purchased puff pastry you can get is from Grand Central Bakery up in the Portland area. If you're in the Portland area, I recommend that you check that out because it is the best all butter puff pastry you can find. It is fabulous. And you buy that and it's frozen, and you can just put it in your freezer and keep it until you need it. So anyway, we're going to put the filling in. It doesn't take much. I'll have filling left over that I can use for something else with this. I'm going to do a little egg wash around the edges. And with a king's cake, it's traditional to do a design on the top and also to put a fève in the middle, which would be, you can use a little porcelain figurine. I was trying to find some of my old, I think it was Red Rose tea that used to have the little figurines in them, but I don't have those anymore. I don't know what happened to them. Anyway, so you can put a whole almond in it or something like that to make it if you're having like a celebration with friends to make it, which is kind of fun. And then whoever gets it is considered the little charm in the pie, is either going to be a king or a queen for the day. So anyway, and that particular celebration is for Epiphany, and that's, I believe, the 6th of January, and I think that's also considered Old Christmas. Not sure, because I'm not really a religious person. I don't know, I'm not up on all of that. But I do know when Epiphany is. Okay, so I'm going to press it down so that it's kind of sandwiched in there. And hopefully there's not too much air in it. Now I'm going to take my fork, and I'm going to go around and just gently press down on it so that it's sealed. Hoping it's sealed anyway. This is obviously a really quick, simple dessert to make. And it does come off as being kind of like a special occasion sort of dessert. People will think that you went to a lot of effort to make it, when in fact you don't. It's really nice that way. Now I'm going to make a little cut in the top to let the steam out. And one of the other things that you do is you brush it down with your egg wash. And then you make little designs on top. And traditionally, in France, they would have this in a round. It would be a round pie, and they have swirly designs on it. And I'm going to put on, I don't know, maybe just little lines across the top to make it look interesting. This little bamboo skewer will work really well. So I'm going to just do lines like that. You don't want to make them real deep. They kind of like the rays of the sun. And now I'm going to put this into a 375-degree oven and bake it until it's done. And I'll tell you how long that takes when it's done. This is what they look like, ready to go into the oven. Okay, this is what our little frangipani puff pastry cakes look like. I bake them for 10 minutes on the lower part of the oven and 10 minutes on the higher shelf of the oven, and I bake them at 375. So 20 minutes is what this took, and I glazed them with a mixture of sugar water and corn syrup. It was a tablespoon and a half of sugar, a tablespoon of sugar or water, and half a teaspoon of corn syrup. Anyway, we'll cut this up.
When did you do that?
I brushed it on after they came out of the oven. It's beautiful. That'll be delicious with a cup of coffee or even a glass of wine. Anyway, well, thank you for watching.